biggest shift you're seeing right now, and let's just stick with Seattle for now. If you want to talk about the east side, you can, between what buyers actually want versus what builders think buyers want in today's market, and how has that changed the way you approach projects, design, pricing, and even the deals that you're pursuing? So any mismatch between what builders are providing versus what buyers are really looking for?
Well, builders always like to go off of proof of concept. So like if there's something out there that has sold,
they want to do it.
They want to do it. But as we're learning right now, you can't solve today's problems with yesterday's data. It's a good way to like give us an indication of what direction we may want to go in, but that isn't what we should truly rely on. What we really need to rely on is not the product that's selling, but what the buyers are actually saying. So
how do you gather that? I know you have listing agents, but also know that you get on the phone with buyers. So like, how do you gather the feedback systematically, the information?
So we have a ton of buyer feedback. So at any given time, like right now, I think we have 47 active listings and probably 150 units in shadow inventory. And so our team, the number one thing to do is to get feedback from the buyer. What did you like?
If
what
they
did
can't
you not
get it,
like?
they don't work for you, basically.
Exactly.
They have to be able to provide that.
You have to get that info.
Okay.
Because, believe me, some junior architect isn't going to know. I'm not going to know. Nobody in this room is. It's actually just accumulation of a lot of buyer data. And then you can
But you
really
have to
make
get it through the buyer's agent, typically.
You do.
Or sometimes it's directly from the buyer.
Open houses.
Okay.
Right? So we have a whole team that's doing open houses. I mean, if we have 47 listings, let's say that's spread out over 25 projects, we're doing probably over 50 open houses a week. And so when you have that and you're asking those questions for every buyer that walks to the door, that's gold.
And are you compiling it in a way, like probably using technology to kind of compile this information?
Yes.
Okay. And synthesize the information? Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then you are basically reporting that back to the builders and then also informing your decisions for the next projects that you're hunting?
100%.
Okay.
Also, the buyer feedback gives us indication on like, where should we be priced? Do we need to make a change in this home to actually set it up and present it to the market in a way that's going to make it sell for more money in a less amount of time?
Do you feel like the product is typically big enough, or is it not big enough, or is it or do they not think about size, they just want the value that it creates?
They want the value. So a lot of new construction at a more affordable price point was all within this 4% swath of land in Seattle. Low rise, right? Mm-hmm. Low rise 1, 2, 3. That has just been historically townhome dirt. Mm-hmm. And we've been fighting in that tiny little space now for 20 years. Mm-hmm. And now with House Bill 1110, middle housing bill, now it opens up an extra 60%. So for people that are a little bit old school, the zoning used to be SF 5,000, 7,200, and 9,600.
That's right. Yep.
Single SF is single family, and in that number is the size of the lot. Mm-hmm. Now they changed it to neighborhood residential 1, 2, or 3, and replaced those three terms.
Right.
So what can you do there? And this is what the buyers are really suggesting. When your only option were townhomes, that's what we sold. Now there's going to be more and more options. So back in the day, we did a 12-unit unparked townhome project that were less than 12 feet clear on the interior of the units. I bet you this room is 12 feet wide.
So very skinny, no parking, 3 stories, and they still sold.
They still sold, right? They still sold for over $640 a foot, right?
Which means over 600 to 700 grand.
The buyers have been begging for something that's a little bit more livable, that has, and what I mean by that is, because they are very livable, less verticality.
Right.
So we started off doing townhomes that are 3 stories. Then we started doing a mezzanine to make it 4. And very rarely we might even go 5. Mm-hmm. I mean, unless you want quads of steel, it's not the ideal place for everybody. Like and I say that, half joking, but it's not a place where you can actually age in place. And it's not a place where it's very easy for you to grow your family. So what do we have now? We're gonna start to have product that buyers really, really want. Like, you have your top 10 list that you're trying to knock out on every new construction. If you get 6 or 7 of those, that is a win as a buyer. They may not realize it, but 10
You're
out of 10.
never going to get 10 out of 10
No.
typically, unless you have unlimited money.
Unlimited
kind of thing,
money.
which no one does. And so if you can get 6 or 7 out of your 10, consider that a win for all parties, essentially. Okay.
So what do buyers want? They want to have a home for their family. And a lot of people want to have new construction. They want to have green features. They don't want to buy something where they feel they're going to have to put a lot of money into it over time. There's a lot of people that don't, but that's kind of the sector that we're marketing to.
There's a segment of people like that. Professionals typically. Yeah, okay.
So let's use a neighborhood where people are priced out of, Laurelhurst. Laurelhurst, great example. There's some oversized lots there. Let's say it's a 6,500 square foot lot. Go to raise the existing structure. You build a 4,000 square foot house. That thing's over $3 million. I don't know how many people can actually afford that home, right? Let's say that they work at the university or they're at Children's. They really want to be in that school, go to that elementary school, and they want to have beach rights at the Laurelhurst, Laurelhurst beach rights specifically.
So would you take that lot and do 2 homes at a lower price point?
Depends on how it's oriented, but I think what you do is you would go ahead, because you can put 4 or more on that site pretty easily, and make it look just like a townhome site, just like an LR1 site, right? Shared wall. What you do is you do 3 standalone single families, 2-story, get them as close to 2,000 square feet as you can, make them 4-beddy. 2 of the bedrooms are going to be small. That's okay. They get a small yard. They get a 1-car garage. Maybe one of them has an extra off-street parking stall. What you don't get is you don't get that extra bonus room. Right? You don't get the large, massive primary suite and primary bath. It's nice. But now you're at 1.6 and you're not 3.2. You have the bed bath count. You're in the neighborhood that you love. Is that going to work for you? And I am taking the bet based on what all the buyers have told us that yes, it is.
So you're saying instead of building 1 big home or even 2 large homes, you're attacking a price point. I think you said 1.6 for a 2,000 square foot 4-bedroom house. 2 of the bedrooms are legit. 2 of the bedrooms are smaller than you want, and then you give them all the different things: small yard, 1-car garage, maybe like a parking pad. That type of thing. So you're creating all this value, but attacking a price point that you feel they can jump up and get, which you don't feel confident at maybe $2.5 million, but at 1.6, you feel that the guy that works at Children's, they're gonna go opt for that or different. There's just more options for people buying that.
100%.
So basically what I'm hearing is better product, bigger product, less verticality, because you're not limited to just the LR only sites. Now all the former SF sites are now called NR, and you pretty much have more flexibility and more lots to choose from, which allows you to basically create different product. I don't know if that, am I oversimplifying?
No.
And not paying MHA fees.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're not paying MHA fees. Yeah, exactly.
What have you learned working with sellers? Like, what's the main, in all these living rooms and conversations, different old people, young people, probably people of different backgrounds, ethnicities, heirs, like what are some of the big takeaways? I know you had the river rafting, all the guy from Jersey, the guy from Minnesota, but like of all the sellers, like what are your big takeaways from that?
When we entered the space, it felt like it was a bunch of wholesalers that weren't being very honest. And so
like bait and switching a little bit, or
retrading,
misrepresenting,
retrading at the 11th hour, or all of a sudden you get under contract and before you know it, there's like 15 people bidding for your house in your backyard. We realized that very quickly that we never do that. When we have an opportunity that we're personally developing, I would just call one of my builder partners and say, does this work for you, yes or no? And if it's no, then we move on. And that's a much better experience when it's like, hey, here's what I'm trying to do with your property. I'm gonna keep you informed the whole way. You're going to be hearing from this person when we order all of these things. And we're going to follow up and tell you when we receive them. And then we can go ahead and have a meeting.
So you give them a very high level of transparency.
We do.
All the way through.
Uh-huh.
Always? Or that something you figured out? Or that was just kind of developed over time?
Pretty much always.
Okay.
Yeah. They want to know. I mean, these people are getting, some circumstances, 5 phone calls a day. People knocking on their door all the time. Somebody saying that they'll offer $2 million for a $1 million property and then it fails. And then we come in and say, hey, this property is worth $825. Here's why. We can keep you in the fold the entire process. Does that work for you? And everybody takes us up on it. Some people still may not trust us that well, and I don't blame them because they've been dragged through the mud a bunch. Mm-hmm. But we've always taken the approach of being really transparent.
Mm-hmm. And you have a system to basically keep them updated as you get more information. When you get different reports back,
yeah.
Good news, bad news, you basically keep them in the loop.
And look, we deal with people all the time, and we stay in contact with them for years. I mean, we've been in contact with, oh gosh, I don't even remember his name. His nickname was the fishmonger because he would just go out and fish all the time. And he just had salmon and a cooler outside of his house. And the house had
But he owned a bunch of property?
There was no ice in the cooler and he had no running water. Oh. But he would always offer us the fish and we always politely declined. But we first talked to him in 2012.
The fishmonger?
And we transacted in 2022.
10 years.
10 years.
But it paid off eventually.
Yeah, the key for us and in all of our experiences is to just be consistent. Right place, right time. Because even though me and the fishmonger had a good relationship, okay, if I wouldn't have been consistent in reaching out to him and somebody else called him or got his attention at that time, we just would have missed out. It's not his fault. It's
so after
ours.
10 years, he was finally ready to sell?
Yeah.
These are just little random personal questions. You can give one-word answers or one-sentence answers, anything you want. So what is your go-to spot on DoorDash or Uber Eats if you're not cooking dinner?
I don't use it.
Ever?
Ever.
Not one time?
Not one time.
Never?
Never.
Not for your kids?
No.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Better than me. Okay. Artist or music type or album or podcast most likely to be in your headphones when you work out?
Rage Against the Machine.
Rage Against the Machine. I got this question from Snoop Dogg. Weekdays or weekends?
Weekends.
We already answered this question. Next. How did you get into bike racing?
Oh.
You can go long.
Is this going to be a one-word answer?
No, you can go long if you want. You can do whatever.
All right. Let's see here. A really good friend of mine, he's older than me, acted like my mentor and big brother. There was a point in my life where I kind of fell off the rails for a little bit.
How old were you?
I was 23, 24. Money was coming in like I had never experienced before, and I was just being a bit of a knucklehead. And so I went over to his house for Christmas. And him and his family brought me out this Trek carbon race bike. And I just started riding it, and that's how I got started.
They bought it for you?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They bought you a Trek bike?
Yeah.
And then how did you know you were going to, was it apparent that you were going to be really good, or how did it?
I started riding and joined this little cycling group. And then the cycling group was like, Dustin, you're just a little too competitive for us. You should go race your bike and stop riding with us on the weekends.
Because you were just looking to crush
legit.
them.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that was just what I thought you should do, but they were just out to have an enjoyable time on the bike. And my enjoyment was well, we're gonna gamify this and race. Yeah.
And so they kicked you out?
Politely.
Politely?
Yeah, they were nice though.
All right. How did you get into powerlifting?
Oh man, in college, how did I get it? How did I get into lifting?
Yep.
So I was 15 and I was in my buddy's car and he was 16 and somebody had cut him off.
Were you fully grown at this point, or were you the same size? Were you as tall?
Pre-puberty. I was a late bloomer.
Okay, so you were smaller. Okay.
I was 120 pounds.
Okay.
Like
and not 6 feet tall.
5'5".
Okay.
Yeah, 5'6".
Okay.
And my friend flipped him off. And so instead of this like grown like 18-year-old coming over and pummeling Jeff, same Jeff I mentioned earlier, he comes over to my side and holds the seatbelt down and just like pummels me. There's a car in front, car in back. And I'll never forget.
Like just punching you?
Oh yeah, I'm like, it ends, like I'm crying, I'm all bloody.
Oh my God.
And then they pull over and want to like go again in this apartment and Jeff's like, let's go get him. I'm like, no man, I'm going home. So I go home, my dad's like, what happened? And he's like, you're not coming home anymore. You're gonna go to the gym and you're gonna work out and then you're just gonna figure out how to get back home when you're done. It was kind of an intense, I know, it was an intense moment.
What?
It was an intense moment.
Holy smokes.
And so that's what I did.
So you joined like
just the gym at school.
Okay.
And then I joined a gym down the street later.
And you just kind of taught yourself to lift?
Yeah.
Or was there a guy in there and you just kind of figured it out?
No, I had some like mentors that kind of showed me what to do. And then I lifted all through college and then got into rowing and bike racing and then I just fell in love with lifting again.
Did you row crew in college?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Twins. And you don't know what it's having two kids at different times, but twins versus having two kids at a different time, harder or easier?
Harder if you already have one. I don't know how much harder it is if you've never had kids because you have your baseline, right? Mm-hmm. Like I don't know, we didn't know how hard one was or three. It didn't make a difference to us because we didn't know. It's really hard on mom now. Right?
Twins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the first 2 years, it's funny. We look through our phones and we're like, I have zero recollection.
You're just surviving?
Just surviving. I'm glad we got like thousands of pictures because I don't remember hardly any of those days.
You blacked it out?
Yeah.
Secret to keeping a good business partnership with Ian over all these years?
Respect. Both in who they are as just people and respect in like believing in the process and understanding that we can all go do this on our own, but knowing that by having a partner, you actually are afforded the ability to do a lot more. And that isn't just work. Like it gives me more of a opportunity to spend time with my wife and kids and my friends and do other stuff, and Ian too.
Thing you worry most about for your daughters? Didn't send you this one in advance. Sorry.
Oh man.
In this crazy world we're in.
So I think the go-to that every guy would probably say are the boys, but that's not really my concern. My concern is what is their future going to look like in the world of AI?
Yeah.
And how is that going to impact them?
I'm kind of right there with you.
Yeah.
2 more questions, we're done. If you could tell young DVW something, what would it be?
Don't be so hard on yourself.
And last one is, do you have any, you have a chance if you want to ask me a question, the floor is yours on anything you want, so.
Well, what do you worry most about your kids about?
I think everything you just said.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, what they, like, so my son Isaac, he's coming home today from his sophomore year at Fordham in New York City, and he's doing great, and he's studying marketing business, he's smart, and I don't know, I think he was like a 3.7 or 3.8 or whatever, and he got an internship, amazing internship at Kimco, which is the company that owns the Factoria Mall.
Oh,
so he has like a legit marketing internship as a sophomore, which is hard to get, you know, that kind of thing. But I just know with him, like in 2 years, my wife and I are always like, with AI and everything, like what, you know, how's that going to impact that first wave of hiring? And obviously, all the kids are using AI already. They're using AI in school. They're all using it. And the teachers know this, right? So we don't necessarily want to kill all that off because they're going to have to do that. I mean, I use AI to help prep for this podcast, to help organize my notes and all this stuff that probably saved me, minutes, hours possibly of time to kind of make this more efficient. So I worry about that. Like, he has friends that are like computer science majors, and so like they did all the right things in high school, got to a good college, 4.0 student, computer science, and then they hear about like Claude Mythos or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're just totally deflated. Like they basically, in their parlance, they use "we're cooked." That's kind of how they talk. We're cooked, And I don't feel like they're totally cooked, but I also know that it is a big, how do you get them motivated? And then what if they do go out in 2 years and then knock on every door and it's just, no doors open, or the only thing available for them is, something without a college degree? They're like, I could have just done this, out of high school. Right now, I owe these student loans, or my parents shelled out all this money, or a combination of the above, So, and even at Fordham, there's a program where you could stay another year and get an AI certificate, which I would gladly pay for.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of money. But last time I brought it up to my son, he's like, dude, I don't want you to waste your money. I don't think it's necessarily going to be. And so I don't even know what the truth is on that. So, but yeah, that's definitely kind of the same thing for my sons, And I have my younger son's 15, and so he's still kind of in that high school age. But I think for my older son, knowing that he'll be in the workforce probably in 2 years, then it's definitely, definitely something that my wife and I, we don't have any answers for. No parents do, and I think all parents right now are having that conversation, to some degree, and I think the older your kids are to that moment, it's probably maybe even a little bit more, a little more urgent, so.
Yeah, my daughter is always like, what should we be when we grow up? I'm like, oh, well, I'm not gonna have the same answer that I was given, but I'm like, and they start naming things off. I'm like, you guys follow whatever you want to do, right? And we will support you to the very end. But I want to remind you, the job that you probably end up taking for your career probably doesn't even exist today. So think about that. Like, don't get so hung up on what you think you're going to do in the future. Just go and learn a bunch of stuff and learn how to think critically, build a good foundation. And like, even all these software engineers, I mean, they have a good foundation. Mm-hmm. Now they need to reschool themselves on how to actually use it and survive in this new era.
Yeah, we're switching. Like, politically, I feel like for the next election, I was like, what will it take to win the next presidential election? And I go, if someone had a plan to retrain the U.S. workforce with AI, that'd be worthy to win the presidency. Obviously, lowering inflation, getting us out of these wars we're in, that would probably also go, those other things.
Yeah, that'd help.
But like, if you could have a plan to basically upscale everybody, mm-hmm. And so I think that is probably, maybe the single biggest thing, that we're facing as a country. And housing, when we're talking about housing is a big deal. I think this is even a step higher than even all the housing problems that we're trying to solve.
Agreed.
And it's just like, it's the newest thing. So, well, Dustin, this was great. Thanks for being our first guest.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Thanks for having
you
me.
being generous with your time.
It was fun.
And I think people are going to get a lot from it. And thanks again.
Yeah, thank you.